Hi there, my name is Barnabas, your data protection pal, and today I'm going to talk about the amendments to the Pdpa that came into effect on 1st of February 2021. Some background information: these were actually proposed in Parliament last year in October and subsequently passed in November. So what are these changes and what does it mean to organizations in Singapore? So I'm going to cover them in this little short session. So there are three key points that are in the amendment that are mentioned in the article that is proposed here from the PDPC. So I'm going to cover the 3 points. The first key point about the amendment is that there are going to be stricter enforcements to the PDPA, where organizations can be fined up to 10% of their revenue or up to $1 million. However, there's one more additional point that was not mentioned here, but it regards to mishandling of data. With the new amendments, there is a line that says that data handlers can be fined up to $5,000 or jailed for mishandling personal data. So that's something very new and something that many of us are not very sure of, and we're just going to wait and see what it really means. But whatever the case, as long as you are a data handler, you have to make sure you follow the protocols. But of course, protocols and processes can only be in place if the company already has a data protection management program that is required to show accountability to PDPA. So we'll talk about that in another time. But right now, we're going to continue to talk about the amendments that are going to affect some of us. So the second amendment that is here is about the DNC, where the validity of searches for DNC is going to be reduced from 30 days to 21 days. That means that if you're doing marketing and you're doing telemarketing especially, you need to make sure that you plan your telemarketing right, because you have 9 less days to use the data that has been validated by DNC. So this really means more protection for consumers. We shouldn't be getting too many pesky calls from telemarketers. So the key thing here is more control on more rights for consumers, and which brings me to my last point, that because of the interest of consumers, the PDPC is giving more control to consumers over the personal data. So that's good news for you and I, because we are all consumers as well. So with that, there's also an addition of new obligations to the PDPA that brought about the increase of number of obligations. So previously the PDPA had 9 obligations, and now we have 11. So what are the 9 obligations of PDPA? The 9 obligations are consent, notification, purpose, limitation, accuracy, protection, retention, access and correction, transfer limitation, and accountability. So these are the 9 obligations of PDPA. However, with the new amendments of PDPA with effect from 1st February, they have added 2 new obligations, and the 2 new obligations are data portability and breach notification. So what does this mean? Data portability just means that the data subject, or the individual like myself and yourself, can transfer our data from one organization to another. And well, it's good because it means that we don't have to have so much inconvenience to write up more forms and transfer data and also so on and so forth. But that also means that if organizations are holding a lot of personal data of their consumers, they must put in some sort of system to be able to track, transfer, or pass on the data to the data subject, which is you and I. So that's something that organizations who are collecting data must be mindful of. And the next obligation, which is not new to many practitioners, and that is the mandatory breach notification. And that means that if in case of an unfortunate event of a breach, the organization has to not only inform the PDPC, but also inform the affected parties like you and I in case of a breach, especially when there is potential harm to the consumer. And this must be done within 72 hours, and mind you, not 3 working days, 72 hours. All right. So these are the key updates of PDPC, and I hope you take it very seriously, because I believe that the government is putting a lot of emphasis on data protection. Not just the government, but I believe consumers would certainly appreciate lots if we as companies are able to show that we take data privacy seriously. So my name is Barnabas, your data protection pal. I hope you have a good summary of the amendments of PDPA, and please feel free to ping me for questions, and of course, please like, share, and subscribe. Good day and be safe.